Well, good morning. Welcome to the inaugural, is that the word that I'm going to be using today? Yeah, inaugural episode of Coffee with the Commodore. So, I did this when I posted in the therapy lounge for Symphony, and then I just went on one of my rants and ended it with, coffee talk with Commodore. And then somebody said, well, this could be your new calling. We'll give it a shot. Anyway, since I am Commodore Skip, hello, thank you. If you're watching this, God, love you. But I'm going to try this, see what happens. Just kind of put down my thoughts. I'm not going to ramble too much, as I tend to do sometimes. So, um, but thank you for watching. If you get this far, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Let me tell you, I'm not doing any editing or anything like that. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about stuff that's on my brain. So um, today, it was my first day back from Gamehole Con in Madison, Wisconsin. My first time going up there. It was really, really awesome. Oh, it's coffee with Commodore, so I got to talk about coffee first. Anyway, I'm in my Miskatonic University cup this morning for the inaugural episode. Go Pods! Um, and my selection today is Food Lion French roast. I know. It's so exciting. But I do have a little bit of Irish cream um, creamer in it this morning. That's how I'm starting my day. So, so let me tell you, Gamehole Con was so much fun. Again, it's my first time doing this, going to this con. Usually, I've been to Necronomicon, and I've of course been to Chaosium Con, which I love. Chaosium Con's always going to be my favorite. It's the first con I ever went to. Um, I know just about everybody now, and you guys are awesome. Um, but I got up there, I flew up there. I'm not a big flyer. I went to PAX last year with the old ways. And that's when I got asked to be a full time cast member. And I'm still, Mike, I don't know why you did that, but I thank you. I appreciate it. Believe me, I love the product. I love everything about it. So, but yeah, PAX was huge. I don't know if you've ever been there, but to me, it's huge. It's like Gen Con huge, but it's huge. But Gamehole was about, I want to say, 2,500 people, maybe a little bit more than that, but around that size. And it was awesome. I mean, you had a feel to it that everybody wanted to be there, everybody loved being there, everybody was friendly. From the staff who went ahead and opened up and were letting people other than vendors pick up their badge early. We thank you. They gave away free dice. I don't have mine with me right now. I'm sorry, I'm not very prepared this morning, but um and it was just a great experience altogether. Um and I would definitely it's definitely something I would go back to. I mean, we stayed in the hotel, which is right down the road. It was a good walk. Don't ask my legs that because I'm a little bit overweight. Okay, I admit it. I'm working on it, but my legs are like, "You want me to do what?" Yeah. Okay. So I did it. I mean, it was over like 8,000, 10,000 steps a day. So it was pretty cool. But the gaming experience there was incredible. I mean, you had a wide variety of games. Money Cook was there. Chaosium was there. A bunch of other Troll Lord games was there. And I tell you what, if you are a dice goblin, if you collect dice like I do, OMG. It's like you could not sling a dead player character without hitting somebody who was selling dice, and it wasn't just random dice. There was the standard chessex and stuff like that. But all these creative dices. Let me see. Hold on. While I'm talking, I want to get out one of the most beautiful dice I bought, and I will. I have to find the card. Um, of the creator of this dice, and I'll probably do that next time. Again, I'm just not very prepared this morning. I'm so sorry. And again, this is going to be unedited because one, I don't really have a good video editor, and two, I'm just lazy right now. But anyway, I don't know if you could see this, but it's a die here, and it's got a big, gigantic eyeball in it. And I tell you what, I've used this die all weekend, and it's absolutely beautiful. Um, but anyway, the dealer room was just incredible. Lots of of artists showing off their work. Hold on, talk amongst yourselves. So you can see one of the pieces of work I got right here. I haven't taken it out of the thing yet, but isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I mean, just stuff like that. That's kind of what I want to do my whole office in once I get it organized. You can see my cat walking there. They're going to make surprise appearances. I believe that was Fifi. Lolo will probably be in here causing havoc. So, but yeah, anyway, that beautiful, beautiful artwork, the whole thing. Gaming wise, I mean, it was a wide variety of games. Let me get back to that. I mean, I got to play RuneQuest for the first time. Morgan and Heather, you guys did an awesome job. The ladies were awesome. It's my first experience playing RuneQuest. Got to play Castles and Crusades. I've had it on my library shelf for a while now. I've kind of flipped through it and never did get any further than that. Coffee. But it was still really, really cool. It's a kind of like a combination of 3.5 meets old school D&D. I died. Got to play with one of the writers who did the scenario for the starter set. It was a really good scenario. I mean, it's classic dungeon crawls and stuff like that. But anyway, the system was great. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's something I would play full time. Maybe I would. You know, I'm a fantasy junkie, so I like trying out new fantasy systems and things like that. And I'll get to the fantasy, a different part of the fantasy here in just a minute. But also got to play the One Ring. Now, this is the one I was looking forward to, other than RuneQuest. The One Ring. Okay, I am not by any stretch of the imagination a Tolkien expert. I'm not good with words this morning. But I really enjoyed it. It was a very basic, we're going to go find out what's going on in this tower and solve the problem as best we can. So the system itself, by Free League, is pretty interesting. It's also, everything's based on one of your 3 stats. And you have hope points you can spend, but you have to watch it if you get shadow points, and they kind of one or the other. We really didn't get a whole involved in the whole system because it was a con. It was a 2-3 hour game, but it gave you the basics on how it plays. And the one thing I did, just reading a little bit of it on the flight back, was it was very Tolkien. It fits the whole Tolkienese genre pretty well. A lot of background history. This is the time between when Bilbo got the ring from Gollum and Smaug is dead. In that time frame, I think it's like 60 years between when Bilbo goes back to the Shire and Frodo begins the Fellowship to get rid of the ring. So it's in that time period. So things are growing in Mordor, and things like that. So it was very interesting to see that. And this is something I may want to run, maybe for the Patreons on Old Ways, because it's not very horror, so I couldn't do it on Symphony. But it's something I'd like to try out, and it's something that I could see a campaign in. I mean, really, really. But like I said, I'm a fantasy junkie. Got to play Magnus Archives. Mike Diamond from the Old Ways ran an off-book game. Really fun. If you haven't played the Cypher system, I would check that out too. It's a great system. Monty Cook folks are awesome. I got to interact with them a lot at PAX last year, and I've really enjoyed the system. I've ran, like a superhero game in the 1940s so far. I'm putting together a fantasy cipher short just to get used to the system because I like to run it more at cons and stuff like that when they're there. But Magnus Archives was really interesting. It had a new mechanic to it, other than your standard cipher fare, but it was called stress. And each time that your stress level goes up, then your GM intrusions, when the GM can step in, happen more frequently, and you can actually die from stress if you get to a certain level. So it was a really interesting mechanic that they added to the cipher system, and I thought it was really cool. What else? So we did the live show, getting back to the fantasy thing for Always, available now on Twitch, and that was just outright hilarious. I don't know if you have watched or anything like that, but the Always is putting together this fantasy world, and I'm great to be part of it. I've written some stuff already. I've got a few ideas for some other stuff. It's a big old collaboration between us all of our fantasy gurus, or I don't know if I'm a guru, but you know what I mean. So we kicked out that a little bit, talking about the world itself and everything, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go into because I'm hoping that you guys will go over to the old ways and watch it on Twitch, and then when it goes on YouTube and everything like that. But it's real interesting on what's being created over there. So that was really really fun. I don't think I've laughed that much in a long time. So it was really good for my spirits and my soul. But my impressions, I mean, it was a great con. Definitely something I would go back to. Flight wise, well, I don't know what was going on in Chicago yesterday, but everything got delayed. So had to change my flight around, all the travel stuff. Um, but otherwise, it was a great experience. Go pods. Anyway, so like I said, I did this when I go on my rants, and I don't know if they're rants, it's just my feelings. I tend to express my feelings a lot out on typing because it helps me. And I appreciate you guys bearing with me through all that. And I'm starting to feel a lot better about things. When I drop weight, I know that doesn't have anything a lot to do with it, but it does in my mental state. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I carry myself. I don't like how it makes me feel. And it's hard. I've always eaten my troubles away. I guess that's the best way to do it. And things like that, ranting, and I keep using the word rant, but I don't think that's the right word. But anyway, expressing my feelings that way, it just seems to help, and I appreciate all of y'all bearing with me when I do that. I try not to do it very often anymore because I know people get tired of hearing them from me. But anyway, maybe this will help. Maybe if I'll keep doing this, I don't know. Um, but we'll give it a shot. One of the things that I've always had problems with is follow through. And you can ask any of my friends, I mean, friends from 30, 40 years ago, that I'm blessed to have still part of my life and who have tolerated me this long, especially my best friend Chuck, we've known each other over 50 years. He's kind of like my brother, but I know one thing they would tell you is, Skip is full of passion. He has great ideas, but he doesn't have the oomph to follow through on most of them. So on the way back, driving from the airport back home, I'm decided that this morning I would, before I started work here in a little bit, was to record something to do this and see how it flies. Throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks. You guys may not want it. You may guys going to go, what the heck is he doing? Sitting there drinking coffee, yapping for 15, 20 minutes. Um, but anyway, it just kind of helps, and I'll try to do this periodically and see how it goes. I'm not gonna cry over spilled coffee if it doesn't. Go pods. But anyway, so that's kind of where we are this morning. Like I said, I had a great time at Gamehole, and I'm looking forward to taking that energy that I got there with being around people who just love gaming, board gaming, tabletop, all the artist passions, everything like that, and hopefully get off my butt and actually do something. Because I'm 57, I'm turning 58 Friday. I think that's the 24th. And this is what I love to do. I love gaming. I love stepping out of who I am into something else for a little while. And I bring a passion to it. I've always had that. My mom always said I was so creative when I was young. I didn't really know what that meant, but from drawing little Star Wars spaceships while I should have been paying attention in class. Um, yeah, I'm not a drawer. I know that. That's not my thing. My stick figures get condemned. My stick buildings get condemned. It's that bad. But still, the creative energy was there. You know, and then I got on to gaming back in 1978 with Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just kind of been part of my life ever since. I took periods of time off, but once I got into college and got it at Radford, it's when that passion really took off because I was playing games all the time. Um, and even when I was working in radio and things like that, I at least had one game a week at minimum, you know. And then my friends brought me to Chaosium Con. This will be my fourth one this year coming up, something like that. And then I met Bridget with Symphony and did that one game, live stream, and that ignited a whole nother passion. And then from there, I just kind of worked my way, and I got asked to be part of the Always. I've got some other things cooking too, but Symphony and Always are my babies. I mean, they're always. Anytime I go anywhere, that's what I'm focused on. I don't care about me. I don't want to promote anything I do or anything like that at these conventions. At this point, I want to be part of those two teams that mean the most to me. You know, um, so I'm always going to give them props. Always going to give them shout. Bridget's done a wonderful job putting together the horror side over in Symphony with a variety of stuff. And then what can I say about the Always? I mean, it's even a more variety outside of the horror genre, and Mike's done a great job of building that product, and there's a lot to come on both sides. So I'm very excited to be part of both. And like I said, other projects. I got the whole uh, New Dawn coming out with Black Creek, and that's going to be awesome. That's all I'm going to say, and I'll put the information on the blue below. I don't even know what you call it because it's going up on YouTube. But I'll put all that there as well. Oh, there it goes, Lola. I knew it wasn't going to be. It was going to be a better time. When you go away, the cats miss you. Just don't chew on knee cords, babe. Thank you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. It's coming up about 20 minutes, and I'm sure your guys are tired of hearing me rant. But like I said, I'm going to do this from time to time. I'm not going to edit it. I don't have a good video editor right now anyway. So I'm just going to let it go raw and see what happens. You get to see the messes that is my office. You get to hear the ramblings that I have in my brain. And occasionally you'll see the cats walking in and out. So that's pretty much what it's going to be like. Anyway, comments, leave them in the blue below. Send me an email. I'll post my email down there as well. And we'll see how this goes. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you made it this far, if you made it 30 seconds, I still appreciate you. If you only made it 30 seconds, you wouldn't be hearing this. But anyway, this has been Coffee with the Commodore. I'm Commodore Skip. And just remember, smile. You never know whose day you might brighten. We'll catch you next time. Go Pods.